Peace and blessings. Welcome to a little bit of tarot talk with me. I am really excited because the last Kickstarter that I backed this year has sent me shipping information, so it's going to be on the way soon. It was the Remembering Messages from the Wild Voice Within, an affirmation deck by Nikki Ferrata, and then their Shadows We Cast Tarot deck was an add-on that I got. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to get those in the mail and play around with them. I've really been working with two main decks right now. One being the Forces of Nature Tarot, and the other is the Alchemistical Tarot, which is my all-time favorite tarot deck. I really, really love this deck so much. This deck actually inspired another deck that I added to my collection. What I love about this is that it really it focuses more on your inner landscape, your psyche, your thought process, your beliefs, your patterns. Um, it kind of takes you on a journey through the subconscious, and that's what I really love about this deck. And also I love that this deck includes the 5 elements, so it does have 92 cards. It has an additional suit, which was ether, and I really like that. So this is my favorite deck. I've been working with this one the most. It's one that I definitely use for my personal readings often. So I keep this deck with me. Again, a lot of my decks are in storage. This one would be one that I would never ever put in storage because it's one that I use and lean on heavily. Coupled with the Forces of Nature, I think these work really, really well together, even though the art is vastly different. The way they communicate, it's beautiful. But I think this deck and the Forces of Spirit would pair well with any other deck, just based on like how they're made, and they read really well, and I just have been enjoying working with them. One of the things that I have been doing while I've had so much time on my hands is rethinking and refining my tarot practice. And I'm realizing it's not even just a tarot practice, it's a divination practice. And I've started finding ways to weave in different divinatory practices that I loved. One of the first forms of divination that I was taught was using stones or crystals to read. I want to say it's called lithomancy, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then, of course, I've always worked with pendulums. I now have a set of dowsing rods that have been really awesome to work with. So, and then I also think of the different energies that come into my readings as well. So instead of it being so specific to just what I'm getting from the card, it's a full divinatory experience. Um, and it's probably always been that way, but there's just certain things that I'm becoming more aware of and just being more intentional of when I read. I also have developed my own method for reading. So it's it's really amazing how it all unfolded, because it wasn't something that I was trying to do. It just was there. And I think once I was able to like make space to kind of explore how I read and not think about how other people read, or what we consider a tarot reading to be. Like really just looking at what are my skill sets, what do I believe, how, do I read a card, how do I read multiple cards, how do I view the structure of a deck, how do I communicate with different decks, like looking at all the things. And it became very apparent that it is um, the foundation of it is Sacred Wellness Alchemy, which is the body of work that I'm creating. I have done predictive readings, but I do not consider myself a predictive reader at all. That's not how I necessarily like to read. If I need timing or information like that, I can get it out of the card, but I typically don't like to work with the cards in that way. I see them as a tool for healing, for coaching, for growth, for evolution. Um, and I think those are more so the ways in which I read and work with the cards. So, yeah, I'm just really exploring what it looks like to read through my own methodology. And I've got a couple of ideas for an oracle deck that I've kind of outlined. So I'm really excited about everything that I am working on, and including like being more present on YouTube. Um, but yeah, so I want to share with you just a really quick look at two decks that I recently added to my collection. One is the Zombie Tarot, which is ironic because I'm not like a fan of zombie things or anything. So, but when I saw this deck, I just was like, yeah, I like it. Love the gilding and the iridescence. I haven't gone through and looked at all of the cards yet. There's the King of Wands. I do like that this doesn't produce a glare. The Four of Swords. But what I liked about this is there's always something about a deck where the creator builds a world and its own language. And so in seeing the cards on Instagram, I really liked the intentionality behind it. And I sat and thought, I was like, look, I don't have anything like this in my collection. What types of readings could I use this for? And I think it will be more so kind of for like mediumship readings, death and rebirth type readings, readings about those in transition or transitioning. So I think it'll be fun to explore different types of readings based on the theme of that particular deck. It does come with a nice guidebook, or they call it a field guide, that contains some spreads, and then keywords and meanings for each of the cards. And I love that they included a image of the card in the guidebook. So I have not had time to sit down and and really look through or work with the deck. I've been building out some deck studies or divination studies that I'm going to start very soon. One of them is a deep dive into decks. So it's like a 60-day like deck interview process basically. And that's something that I would like to go through with each of my decks to really get to know them and understand them and work with them. I know that's very ambitious, so we shall see what happens. The other deck is the Sealed Path Tarot. I saw this via US Games, and I think it was actually a spread that they posted, and that's how I researched the deck, and I was like, this looks like it fits with my thought process and the methodology and how I view tarot. So I said, let's see. Um, oh, I can't get there's more plastic. But those are the backs of the cards. I liked it because it looks like a portal on every card. That's the Queen of Cups. And that's literally the portal. And then it has a nice size guidebook. This one also includes the elements. It's a 92 card deck, if I'm not mistaken. And it has, yeah, 97 cards, excuse me. A good amount of information for each card. This is going to be really interesting. I wonder where the extra cards are at. Okay, hold on. Let me look in the... Okay, so there's wands, fire, cups, water, discs, earth, swords, air. So it has an additional suit, which is the orbs of spirit. And then the court cards go from... Okay, so there's a champion, a princess, a queen, a shield bearer, and a sage. Interesting. So the court cards, they have a cast of characters. It's been my intention throughout to give each individual court card character her own personality and her own specific role and rank at the court of each of the 5 elements. Interesting. While at the same time placing her within the storyline of each suit. The title of each court character describes her function or title at the court of the element ruling the suit to which she belongs. The card's title further suggests either the element itself or some ritual object with which the character is associated. Very interesting. So champions are defenders, princesses are keepers, queens are guardians, shield bearers are the protectors, and the sage is wisdom. Wow. Interesting. I'm very interested to explore this some more. So that was the Sealed Path Tarot. And I don't know if I can get the plastic off these cards without damaging them. So I'm not gonna try. And yeah, I didn't realize they would be wrapped like that too. Otherwise I would have had some scissors on standby. But these are the most recent additions to my tarot collection. And I'm really excited because I've been working on, I created a new tarot journal for myself. I have some composition books that I use for tarot journals, and then I created one in Scrivener, which is like a writing tool or software that writers, authors use to like compile their books and things like that. But you can use it for a lot of different things. I use it as where I put all the information about my business and my brand, and the frameworks and methodologies that I've created so that they are safe in a place where I cannot lose them. So in here, I also have like a deck creation project, and then I have my divination project where I'm building out the methodology, testing out the reading process, doing deck and like divination studies. I can log my readings there. So it just kind of has become this all in one humongous journal. And I'm really excited. Like I said, I started on the first journey or study. And the first thing I did was pull a card for where I am now and how is this study going to impact me. And so, because I'm using two decks, the Alchemistical Tarot and the Forces of Nature, I'm doing that for each one, and then I will dive into the rest of the study. So I may share that process as I navigate it and as things come up and unfold. But for now, I'm really enjoying deepening my connection with my intuition, um, loving on my decks, and just having fun reading again. And yeah, just approaching it from not necessarily a beginner's mind, but still having like that curiosity and um, seeing what else I can learn and uncover, which I think it's about time for that. I've been reading for quite some time and learning from different people, learning different things, reading different books and studying. And now it's time for me to evolve and um, just really make my practice even more personal, which means my readings that I do for others will also have more depth and be unique, which is, yeah, what I want. So that is it. Just a little late night ramble. Very excited to work with these decks. I'm probably gonna do a deck study on this one next, just because I'm really fascinated by it. Um, the cards are very, very interesting. I will do a separate video for each of these decks to show you the cards and talk more about the deck and maybe some things that came up as I was working with it or looking at the cards, just so you have a better idea of them. And I actually am probably gonna go check out some YouTube videos to see if I can find any reviews or walkthroughs of the Sealed Path Tarot. I'm so excited. Beautiful things are unfolding for me in a way that I could not have imagined. And I think it's just because I created space to listen rather than force. And what I started creating as Sacred Wellness Alchemy has evolved and expanded. And the more and more I talk about it and work with it, the more that I'm realizing it has always been present and it has shown up in every single thing that I've done, including my tarot readings. So yeah, it's fascinating. It blows my mind all the time. So definitely tap in and stay tuned. I mentioned that my intention is to be more present and intentional about YouTube. Um, that includes, my like doing collective readings and talking about tarot and showcasing my decks or reviews. But I also desire to expand and get back to where I was talking about other things as well. Um, so I'm really excited. I do plan on showing up more consistently and hopefully having a little structure where maybe every Sunday I'm showing up with a reading. Haven't got that far yet. Right now, I am just walking in the intention of recording videos and uploading them. I am working off of scripts for certain things, so that way my ideas can be a little more organized and I'm not all over the place, which does tend to happen because I have a lot of ideas and I can go off on a tangent. So yeah, just stay tuned. A lot of awesome things are coming and I'm so proud of me. I'm so grateful for this space. I'm just grateful for where I am in life as well. It hasn't been the easiest of journeys, but it's also been very rewarding, and it hasn't been a bad journey. It's just been life. So again, thank you for being here. If you are curious about any of the decks that I showed you today, I will be doing some reviews and walkthroughs. If I already have reviews and walkthroughs, I will put the link in the description so that you can easily find them. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Peace.